Hello, welcome to a new video from DataValley. In this video, we will talk about different data formats, or what are the main data formats that you are expecting as a data professional. So mainly we have three types of data formats. We have structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So those are the main data formats or data structures that you are expecting as a data professional. The first type is a structure format. In each type of these formats, we will talk about three key points. How it looks like, the format or how the data looks like, what are the features of this type, and what are the application using this kind of data format. So structure format consists of a table-like data. So we have columns and we have records. So we have columns, and each one of these columns has a specific data type or has a specific schema. You can think of it like an Excel file. In Excel file, you have columns and you have records. Each one of these columns has a specific data type. Maybe in Excel, you have the freedom to insert different data types in one column, but in databases, each column has a specific and fixed data type. For example, if one column has an integer data type, that means you are allowed only to insert numbers in this column. You cannot insert text or strings. If one of the column has a date or a date time, that means you are allowed only to insert date or timestamp or date time in this column. So in a structured format, we have a table-like format. We have columns, we have records, and each column has a specific data type. So what are the features of that? It's predefined. To insert the data in this format or to use the data in this format, you need to have a defined schema of the data. It's not flexible. As we mentioned, each column has a specific data type, so you need to know how many columns you have, and you need to know exactly what types of column you have. Is it integer, string, data type, or etc. So it's predefined. It's not flexible, as we mentioned a couple of times. Each column has a specific data type, so it's not flexible to insert multiple data types or multiple formats of data in the same column. And here we are talking about databases, for example. It's a human readable, and what we mean by that is that you can directly read the data from the table. You don't need like software, you don't need any pre-processing of the data. You can directly read the data from the table, either on Excel sheet or on a database. So what are the applications for structured data? Data warehouses, of course, because data warehouses are based on databases. So structured formats are used in data warehouses, used in transactional systems. For example, if you have a web application or mobile applications that are interacting with customers, and for each transaction the customer is doing on the UI, you insert a new record in the transactional database. So this is for the first one. Second one, it's called semi-structured. That means it's not fully structured. It's not following fully the structure format, but it has some sort of structure. So how it looks like, we have two popular formats of semi-structured data. We have XML or JSON, and XML, for example, consists of tags, and JSON consists of key value pairs. This is an example of an XML. So you have opening tag, you have closing tag, you have opening tag, closing tag, and between the opening tag and closing tag, you insert or you have your value there. Between opening tag and closing tag, you can have nested tags. You can have more tags with different structure inside this one. So for example, here we have the name tag, and inside the name tag, we have other two tags. We have the first name and we have the last name. The same here for address. So inside each tag or each component of this XML file, we can have a nested structure. We can have another structure consist of tags under each one of these. Here, for example, in address, we have city, we have street, and we can add whatever we want. Same is for JSON. JSON consists of key values. These are the key, and these are the value, and these are the key, and these are the values. So under this key, which is customer info, we have a nested structure. We have another structure inside this key only. So for customer info, for example, we have passport, which consists of key and value. We have name, which consists of key and value. And you can have different type of structure. For example, here under products key, we have an array, and this array consists of keys and values. So it's similar to structure format. So it's similar to structure format in the way that we have defined opening and closing. We have defined attributes or defined keys for JSON, for example. So it's similar to structured format in this way, but it's not similar to structure format, or we call it semi-structure, because you have the flexibility, as we saw, to add multiple nested attributes or multiple nested tags in the same file. So you can have different or flexible structure inside your file. So in terms of features, it has flexible schema. As we saw, you can add multiple nested elements and you can have dynamic structure as you like. It's easy to update. You can insert multiple values. You can, for example, in the same file, you have this employee. In the next employee, you can add one more tag for another information about the employee name. So it's easy to update, it's easy to add more feeds or add listed feeds inside the file, either for XML or JSON. It's allowing nested structure, as we saw, and it's human readable. As we mentioned before, if you open the file, you can directly read the data. And this parameter will make sense in the next slide when we talk about unstructured data. In terms of applications, it's used in NoSQL databases because the main target of NoSQL databases is to make it dynamic and make it more easy to add and manipulate data in different way from the normal databases. It can be used for web applications backend or mobile application backend. We can use, for example, JSON or XML format as a web services request or response format. So you either submit the request through an XML or JSON or receive it as an XML or JSON. Last part, which is about unstructured format, and from the name itself, we can understand it doesn't have a predefined structure. It's very, very dynamic. We cannot just allocate a specific type of information on this type. It doesn't have a structure as a database or as the same structured file. How it looks like video or images. Video or images are stored as binary code. So video or images are stored as binary code. So this image or this video or audio is the interface. But when we talk about the data itself, it's binary. So you cannot read it or you cannot interpret this data by human eye. You need software to read this binary code and interpret it for you and generate the outcome. Either it's a video or an audio or an image. So it requires a special handling for data processing. Let's say, for example, if I want to allocate this color or this parrot, I cannot do it by hand. I cannot do it directly. I need software to be able to interpret this kind of color or this kind of shape from the binary code and extract the information I need from this image. So that's what we mean by it needs a special handling for data processing and it's non-human readable for specific types. We have other types of unstructured data, which is, for example, PDF for documents. It has unspecific structure. You can insert the data in any place you want in the Word on the PDF document. We don't have like a predefined structure for it. Applications for that, of course, video processing, image processing, because in this kind of application you are processing or the main source of data for you is an image or an audio or video. Deep learning applications, which include the image processing or video processing. So these are the main three formats or the main three types of data you will face or you will handle when you work as a data professional, either a data engineer or a data science or data analyst. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.